Hello everybody and welcome. Today we have a speed builder on our hands and we are going to be building this beauty here, which is a pre-build for the for rent pack, which is coming out very soon and I'm very excited about. So it is a Southeast Asian inspired townhouse build today, and this is the inspiration that I used. So it is a modern Southeast Asian vibe, and we have some beautiful sort of islandy, tropicalish sort of warm colors, I think, mixed with the white. So I'm really looking forward to this pack coming out and seeing what the world is like, and whether or not my guess of Sulani being the closest possible option in the worlds that we already have, if that's correct. Because when I've sort of watched the trailer, and we have beaches in the new world, and you know it is inspired by Southeast Asia, so I thought, well, Sulani is sort of more Pacific, but I mean that does have a Southeast Asian kind of vibe to it still, and beautiful beaches as well. So I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to build this in Sulani and we'll see what happens when the pack comes out. So my idea behind this build is that I'm going to build the shells, and I'm also going to decorate them. But today we're actually only going to watch me decorate one of the shells, or one of the townhouses. I'm not going to build all decorate all three in this video, but I'm going to release the build as it's finished with the packs that we currently have up on the gallery, and then when the for rent pack comes out, I thought what I could do is actually revisit this build, and then we could go through together and decorate all three townhouses with the new stuff from the for rent pack. Now I am shaping the roof at the moment. You might have seen me, went by very quick, but you might have seen me curving the roof, and how I did that was by having the roof selected, push a Shift C, and that'll allow you to bring up the extra dot on the roofing so that you can curve the ends of it. So if you're curious about that, that is how I did that. Just you hit Shift C, you're going to make I don't think you need to have move objects on. I mean, you should have move objects on if you're building anyhow, in my opinion. You don't have to. In my opinion, you should, because it makes life so much easier. But if you like a challenge, then fine. I don't think you need it on to make it work. So I'm shaping the roof at the moment and just working out. It's more about like the pitch of the roof, or the angle of the roof, and how that works with the thing running through the middle, the wall running through the middle, and the second roof. So just getting the angles right for that was a little tricky, but got there in the end. And I'm just using the plain black steel roofing because that is a nice modern roofing, and I thought that worked really nicely with the build, and kind of was reminiscent of what the inspiration had as well. So you can sort of see it is starting to take shape. I'm just adding in the little middle column thing that I got going on there, and then starting to shape the outsides of the buildings. So I'm going to have, like, you'll see it coming together, but I'll have like quite boxy shapes around the front, so that there are sort of enclosed balconies, so it's a little bit more private. You sort of see that on a lot of the townhouses, and even like hotels and stuff like that. It just adds that sort of little element of privacy, I think, but does actually have that modern vibe too, which is super nice. I really love the modern vibe. That's definitely my thing. I do love it, but you know, I do love a traditional house as well. I love all sorts of houses. Who am I kidding? So we are moving around the back here, and I'm just once again just creating some little balcony areas. And you might have noticed how the townhouses are sitting, and I'm using the left hand, well, currently right hand, but it's the left hand when it's around the front, left hand townhouse as my base townhouse, and then the middle townhouse I flipped around basically, so that's a mirror reflection of the end townhouse. So the left townhouse is my base, and then the middle townhouse is reflected that, so it's the mirror effect there, so it's the reverse, and then the right townhouse is the same as the left townhouse, so it's kind of like they're both reflections of each other, if that makes sense. And then in the middle there are some shared areas, so what's going to be a shared area, so it's going to be like the lobby, and on top will be a barbecue area. Oh man, I fussed around with this front yard for ages. I'm just placing cars at this point, as I'm sort of thinking about how I want to do it. I was thinking about garage, I was thinking about carports and how that was all going to work, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then so I left it and went and coloured the building instead. Sometimes I do that. I'll be like thinking about what I want to do with the area, and then I'm like, I get stuck, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do something else, and then I'll come back to it. So I'm using a really nice mid-brown for the brightness in the build, and that is the same as what was on the inspiration as well. It's a different shape from what the inspiration was, obviously, because you can't necessarily always do the exact thing that's on the inspiration, but I think it's the same sort of vibe, and that comes from the Growing Together pack, that particular wood. So that's a nice horizontal shape. And then I'm using the Pure Expressions from Base Game to add in like the little bits of white, and also the platform and the platform tool to colour the platforms around the place, because I can't leave them uncoloured, otherwise we'll just have grey all over the show. So just getting that in, and once again just using Pure Expressions as the flooring color as well, so it's just the white on white, and I'm just just checking the freezers as well. So then I had to decide on what I wanted to do with the color on the shared area, so I actually ended up going with the Growing Together again and using like the slate vertical tile, which I think is very cute. And then I'm just filling in the little gap from the roofing pillar. So how you do that is you just shrink a half gable roof into a 1x1 size, and then put it on top of the column, and just make sure you got it flipped around the right way so the roofing is sloped the same way as the roofing on top. And then you can just paint it as the same color as your column, and off to your heart's content. And it looks good. I like that. It's a neat little trick for creating like a real modern column underneath roofing, if that's what you want to do. So as you can see there, I'm just getting fencing in, and I'm just using the clear fencing from Get Famous. Actually, I really like that fencing. It's really nice fencing because it doesn't have the little fence poles interrupting the glass. I like, like having the like nice smooth blah blah blah. Oh man, I've completely lost what I was trying to say. This nice smooth pane. That's the word. That's the word, pane of glass. Oh my. Oh wow. I just completely could not think of the word, pane of glass. Oh my. Anywho, so I'm just working on the second contrast white color. I decided that I didn't want to have it all plain white, so I've got Pure Expressions as the plain white, and then I'm actually using Outdoor Retreat of all things for the second white shade. And the reason that I chose that out of anything else is that I wanted to have something that was the opposite to the Growing Together in the mid brown, because that is a horizontal clapboard, the Growing Together one. So the Outdoor Retreat is actually one of the very few horizontal woods that we get in the game, and I wanted a horizontal wood just to contrast the vertical wood to contrast the horizontal wood that we had for Growing Together. It's a textural thing, so that's what I decided to do. And then I fussed around, changed the color a little bit. I just went a shade darker on the shared area, And now I am deciding what I'm going to do with this front area. So I was stuck on the idea that I wanted to have like a garden sort of space in the front of the middle townhouse. So this is kind of where I'm at. I'm just putting in the fencing. I'm using the Eco Lifestyle fencing, I think it is. Or is it the Snowy Escape? Maybe it's Snowy Escape. It's one of the two. Actually, no, that's Snowy Escape. And that because it's the same mid-brown as what we have on the house, and it just broke up the white because I kept it pretty basic as far as the colors go. So I've got white, I've got black, and that's on the roof and in the pathways. And then we've got a little bit of grey, which is on the doors and the shed area buildings, and then we've got white. And that's basically it. So kept it really simple as far as that goes with colors. So yeah, I was stuck on the idea that I wanted to have like a garden in the front of the middle townhouse and have that as sort of a shared area as well. And then I was like, oh well, no, but it belongs to them, and yeah. Anyway, worked through it and decided eventually that I had to have car parking on each of the three townhouses. I mean, I didn't have to have it, but I think it was kind of what you would expect. You would expect to be able to have the same sort of advantages in each of the townhouses. So parking is definitely an advantage when you have a car. So I'm just using the island living little bushes, and then the palm trees going in there as well, because it is on the beach, so I just want to carry through that beachy feel. And then in the corner of each of the front yards, I just did like a pretty basic, just another little palm tree, and then the breadfruit tree, and some seating, and just adding in some more flowers on the bush area just to add a little bit more colour and brightness and islandy feel. I think that's really pretty. And then that's basically the front yard. I kept it pretty simple as far as that goes. I think I might add some more bushes along the side or on the front, and I did put some gates in, and then I decided as I was doing the tour to delete the gates because they looked silly, because I didn't have any tall gates that worked with it. So I had to use short gates, and I was like, oh, no, I hate that. I'm just going to have to leave that open. So that's what I did. So moving upstairs, we are in the shed area upstairs, and this is our barbecue areas. So each of these areas will be accessible from the townhouses. So the middle townhouse gets access to both, and then the end townhouses just get access to the one shared area. So sorry about it, but that's the way it works. It's just, there's no other way to do it. And then, yes, so they've got like a nice little seating area. I just use the dine out lamp thing, the heat lamp thing, and then just couches and a end table and a tray on each. So it's just like, it's pretty simple, but it's a nice little shared area that you can do a little bit of socializing in and have a nice time. So I will get doors and stuff like that in later. But for now, I'm putting doors in. So these are the sliding doors that come with the Island Living Pack, and I loved the colour and how that worked so perfectly against the white, and I think I really like the contrast of that. I did initially play with the idea of having contrast of white windows on the brown wood, but it was just because there's so much white in the build, it added too much white, so I just ended up going with a blended colour with the windows on the brown, and then use a contrast colour of the brown on the white, and I think that worked out really nicely. I'm just shrinking down the shared areas at the moment. I wanted to give them a little bit more space in the backyard, and to be honest, the shared areas didn't need to be that big. So I just shrunk those down, and actually I didn't change the size of the shared areas upstairs, I just changed the shared area downstairs. Yeah, as I said, it didn't need to be that big. And I'm just working on the backyards now. So each of the backyards got a pool. I initially thought that the pool would be the same in each yard, but I probably could have done them the same in hindsight, but it didn't work out that way, and I just did them all different. It's fine. They basically ended up with the same amount of lawn space anyhow. I mean, it's not like it's going to have heaps of lawn. It's not like a big play area for kids or anything like that. I mean, this is a kind of townhouse where if you've got kids, you're going to take them to the park. You know, you're just going to have like a little tiny bit of space for them out the back, but their main play area is off down to the park. And yeah, So we're just doing a little cute pool area and in each of the backyards, and using the base game tiling. Yeah, I love that tiling. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. We got that with the base game update for what was that for? Oh, it was for the horse pack, the horse ranch pack. I think that came out with that, and I loved it. But it's like having so many more options with the tiling and stuff with base game, just it makes such a big difference, because you know, sometimes I'll do like a limited pack build, or more often than not I will. This is not a limited pack build, by the way. This is a everything build. But yeah, when I'm doing a limited pack build, having those extra options when you know, just having those extra colors when you are doing a limited pack build just gives you so much more flexibility with your building and your, you know, your color options and stuff. So I really appreciate any time I get anything with an with a base game update. So now I'm moving back around the front, and I'm just working on the porch furniture, or the deck furniture, or the veranda furniture, whatever you want to call it. And I have done different colour themes for each of the townhouses. So the one on the left will be an orange theme, the one in the middle is blue, and the one on the far end and the right is green. So each of them will have a different colour. Yeah, you'll see when I do it. So what I'm going to do is I don't know if I mentioned this, but I'm going to just decorate the one townhouse. So it's going to be the orange townhouse will get the decoration. So that's the only thing we're going to follow in this particular build. And then I will show you a few pics at the end of the build of the other two townhouses and how I decorated them. But you know, it's the same sort of process. I just used some different furniture because I used the same floor layout-ish. I think I had to tweak one of them because it was a little bit different for some reason. I can't remember why, but yeah, basically it's the same floor layout on each of the builds. So they've got the kitchens in the same place, dining in the same place, lounge in the same place. They are both 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouses. So each of the three, will be two bedrooms, 2 townhouses. 2 bathrooms. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so they're all going to be the same layout. So I thought, well, it doesn't make much sense, particularly since we're going to go back and revisit and redecorate anyhow when the new pack comes out. So yeah, I thought maybe we'll just watch one decoration and then I'll show you a little bit of what I did with the rest at the end of the video when we do our tours. So we're moving inside, and I'm just working out what to do with the floor layout. So I knew I wanted the dining there by the window, because that's a pretty view while you're eating. So that naturally led to me having the kitchen there, and I'm using the growing together kitchen and the island living counters. It did take me a little while of fussing around just to work out what I wanted to do, because having too big a kitchen just kind of shut off the dining area too much, and I wanted to give that at least a little bit of space. You know, it's going to be a key social area for for whoever is in there. Could be a family, could be a young adult just getting out in the world. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I didn't want to have like the dining area really locked off by itself. I wanted to have it quite open and spacious feeling. Even if it wasn't super spacious, I wanted the feel of spaciousness. So yeah, I didn't want to have that blocked off. So I think I got a happy medium here with extending the kitchen out by one grid out from the wall, as you can see there. And then what I'll do is I'll pull I'll add like a wall just to cut it off and make it actually look right, so you can sort of see that there. I did hide the rubbish bin under the bench. I just used the shrinking dishwasher trick to do that, and then I couldn't fit a dishwasher actually in the build. So there's a dishwasher there, but it's not functional. But hey, the rubbish bins are hidden away, so it made me happy. I hate the rubbish bins. I just wish you had like a counter that had a rubbish bin attached that was functional and that could just be put away, because so many kitchens actually have like that hidden rubbish bin underneath the counter, because you don't really want your rubbish out and about. Yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. You just work around it. So that's why I often do the little shrinking dishwasher triggers, because I struggle with rubbish bins. If I remember them in the first place, which I did today, so good on me. Yeah. If I remember them, I'm just like, oh, I just hate how they stick out. Sometimes, it just depends on the shape of the kitchen and how you build it too, I guess. So it's probably my own fault for building them like this. I've only got myself to blame, really. Anywho, so the kitchen is coming together. I'm just getting some clutter there, and as you can see, I built like a little study nook in behind that kitchen wall. So use that wisely, because I just gave that like a little bit of privacy there. So we've got like a little study nook, and then just some little bits and pieces into the corner there. I didn't want to add too much clutter to this build, because I just wanted to make the kitchen nice and functional for the Sims. And then I'm just getting the fire protection in there, because we've got to make sure that we don't burn the house down, and the temperature gauge as well. What's it called? It's not thermometer, it's something else. Oh, well, you know what I'm talking about. So now I'm moving on to the building, and I actually ended up using the Nifty... Is it Nifty Knitting or the Laundry? Laundry Day? I think maybe Laundry Day table. And then it kind of had like an orangey vibe, and then I went with the orange chairs and then switched the table to white, because I thought that sort of worked better. Then I was like, the blue doesn't really work with the orange, so I was like, it was kind of like a bit too bright. So then I was playing with teal, which could have worked, but then I kind of wanted like a lighter, softer feel to the mat, so ended up going with, what did I use? I don't know. I don't remember which mat that is, but it worked. It was just like a softer green, and I like that a lot. And just using the Cool Kitchen flowers there in the centre of the table, and the patio stuff pack plant in the corners. So I think that came together really nicely. Oh, and I used the Island Living lights all around the place, because obviously vibe-wise, that is absolutely perfect. So we have the stairs here, and I'm just adding some of the Everyday Clutter kit hallway stuff. And then just a little plant in the corner. Then I decided, you know what, I might move the stairs back one, give ourselves a little bit more space, and then block the stairs off. So then that way I can use the wall for something as well. So I'm going to actually use that for, I think, the TV. It's just, I don't know. I know you can put stuff underneath the stairs, but sometimes, depending on the shape of the room, it can be a little bit more functional actually having the stairs blocked off so you can use the wall instead. And in this case, it was definitely going to be better for me if I could use the wall rather than use the underside of the stairs. So that's what I did instead. So this is me putting the TV area in, and I decided to go with a fireplace underneath rather than going for like an entertainment unit or anything like that, because I thought, well, that's a nice source of warmth, and I used a nice modern fireplace as well. It's more like a gas fireplace than a wood fireplace, if that makes sense. And then I had this little nook here, so I actually used I think it's my first pet stuff couch, I think, which is free at the moment on the EA app, so that's a bonus. Oh man, it took me a little while just to work out this rug. I actually ended up not keeping this particular rug, because I was like, oh no, I leave it there for now, but then I'll go back to it and change it, because I think I didn't like the texture of it. So I'm just playing around with couches and what I'm going to do there. I'm using, I think that's it's either Tiny Living or Get Famous. Oh, what is it? I can't remember the pack that's from it. I think maybe it's Tiny Living. Hallway table, and just putting a couch on the other side. It just means that the couch doesn't look like so lost in the middle of the room, really. And I'm just going to put on my favourite little owls. When you look at the back side of the owls, when they haven't got anything behind them, they kind of look like butts. I noticed that when I was doing the tour. I was like, oh, the owls kind of look like butts from this angle. Oh well. They look cute from the kitchen angle, so that's a plus. So you can sort of see we're getting close to the end of the living area. We do have like a space in this front area, so I was like, oh, you know, that's kind of perfect for a chess table. And obviously that's got a practical side to it as well, because it can help with your fun, it can help with your logic, you know, those are all good things. So yeah, rest in peace that particular mat. I was like, no, don't like it. It just like was nagging me out of the corner of my eye as I was building the other section. I was like, oh, that texture is really driving me nuts. So it went. Goodbyes. I was playing around with that for ages. I got there in the end though. Oh, what was happening was that because the door actually goes out to a raised platform, as soon as I got the rug close enough to the door, it would start floating. It was driving me nuts. I actually end up changing that so they don't have platforms anyway, because what happened is that the doors actually stick through the bottom. I don't know if you can see it there, but they stick through the bottom of the roof of the second level. Yeah, so this is me dropping all the platforms on the bottom level, because I'm like, oh, the doors, oh no, they are sticking through the roof. So it's like, that's not ideal. Oh dear. Oh, these little things, because yeah, those doors are obviously quite high on a short roof, and they were not happy with going on a platform. So anyway, I'm upstairs now, and I'm just working on the floor layout. So this was definitely a challenge, just working through how I wanted this to lay out, because I wanted it to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I wanted each of the bedrooms to have an ensuite if I could manage that. And obviously I had to think about how this layout would work with the rest of the townhouses as well, which is a bit of a challenge. Oh, and this is me just fussing around the doors, because I wanted to have one of the bathrooms be accessible for guests as well, so like they wouldn't have to go through a bedroom to get to the bathroom. They could just, not ideal, but they could go upstairs and go to the bathroom. I just could not fit a bathroom downstairs, so just how it worked out. So just building the little living area. Well, yeah, I guess it's a living area upstairs. It's just, you know, couches and just some comfy stuff. So you got some seating on the upstairs area. If you want to hang out upstairs, if there's, you know, a party or something going on downstairs and you just want to chill upstairs, then you can. So just keeping with the nice sort of light, airy vibe, touches of orange mixed with green as well, and just finding things that will go on the wall. Sometimes that's a challenge, you know, and I was conscious of stuff that would stick out, because some of this wall hanging stuff does actually stick out, and sometimes that can be problematic with going up the stairs. I should actually I'll test play it just to make sure that that's okay for getting upstairs. So into the first bedroom, I was trying to do sort of a bit more of an orange theme in each of the bedrooms. I don't think I succeeded in both counts, but one of the counts I definitely got orange. I think the other room I ended up turning more green. You know what, there's a real lack of orange things, orange bedding when it comes to The Sims. I noticed that as I was trying to find some decent orange stuff. So yeah, I kind of did struggle with the second bedroom with keeping it with that orange theme. But because I had like a bit of green running through the build as well, I decided to switch that up a little bit. But you'll see that when I get to the second bedroom. At the moment, we're on this bedroom here. And the island living, I absolutely love this color. It's not orangey orange. It's more, I don't know what it is. What would you call that shade? It's not peach. It's not exactly apricot. It's maybe salmon. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a really nice orangey color. So I'm just using the I think it's the Deluxe curtains, and I'm using the curtain rail as well. So just putting that right along the front of the sliding door, just to give it sort of a finished look. It should look all right, I think, once the ceiling's down and you're on the level think. And using my favourite of all the plants from the Blooming Room kit, nice and dangly. I just had to shrink it down a little bit because it was a little bit too big for that corner. So I think we're just about done with this room. There wasn't too much else I could add in there, just using the growing together shelving, and I wanted to go with like a darker wood as I felt like it was quite a nice contrast to the lighter wood. I was thinking about the Dream Home Decorator end table, but then I saw the tiny living one. I was like, oh my gosh, it's the same color as a chair, and I was like, I love that, but then it was a little bit too blendy, so then I changed it to the brown. But it worked really nicely. So as you can see here, I was gonna originally go with that orange bed, but ended up changing my mind a little bit. So moving into the bathroom, which is the ensuite and also the guest bathroom at the same time, because it's got 2 access points. Just using the the Eco Lifestyle. I was going to say Island Living, but it's not. It's the Eco Lifestyle toilet and basin, and then the Island Living shower. I think that's right, isn't it? I hope so. I wasn't initially going to put this Eco Lifestyle shelf there, but it was way too big, so I was like, well, I'll just have to use this little kit one instead. So that's what I did, and just using the classic little medicine cabinet above the toilet technique, and then some towels on the opposite wall. So there should be enough space in there, I think, to get around. I'm just using little touches of green in that room as well. So then I am just changing the colour of the bathrooms. I wasn't 100% happy with whatever I had, so I am playing around with that a little bit. I think each of the bathrooms and each of the builds, yeah, they are. I do the wallpaper a different colour. I think I keep the flooring the same colour, but I'm pretty sure I changed the wallpaper on each of the builds, so there will be a different colour in each of the bathrooms and the builds, but I'm pretty sure all the wallpapers will be the same throughout each of the 3 builds. So then moving on to the second ensuite for the second bedroom, and basically just doing the same sort of thing. This one has curtains running along one wall because it faces out onto the road or the front of the lot, so they needed curtains because, you know, you don't want to be sitting there and having a shower or going to the toilet or whatever, and people can see in the window. That's not ideal. So I just had a little bit of space around that side, so I put a little ottoman there, so you can have a little sit there if you need to, maybe while you're straightening your hair or I don't know, doing something, and just put some robes in there. I was initially going to do green, but there was quite a bit of green in that room, so I went with white instead. And then moving on to the last bedroom, which is the last room in our build. So I used the Dream Home Decorator dresser with the Modern Luxe mirror, I think that is, and that's the standing mirror, and then the Spa Day round mirror, because you can actually do like different colours on that, which is quite neat. Just a little bit of clutter there. And then this is me, and I'm about to fuss around with this for a little while. I was not happy. Like I did it all sort of orange and brown, and I wasn't happy. I just felt like it blended too much, and yeah, we work through it. It's fine. We will get there in the end. So this is me just working on if I have like some darker furniture. Then I thought, well, I can move this all over, and then I can fit like the matching bookshelf in here, because I quite wanted a bookshelf in this room. Not for any specific reason, I just thought it looked nice. And then just like a little chair going in there with a little side table as well was kind of the idea. There's something pretty on there. So I sort of put that in, and I was like, kind of like, oh, this feels a bit drab. I just was not sold on it. I mean, it looks okay. I think maybe with a really nice rug, maybe that'll pull it together. But yeah, I'm just not feeling the orange on the bed, and it's just not feeling quite right. So I'm kind of putting my bits and pieces in there, and then I'll be like, hang on a minute, I'm not sure if I like this. So we will get there. It'll be fine. But I'm not 100% sold on this room at this stage. Although looking at it now, I actually don't mind it at all. But yeah, I ended up going with the green. I felt like it just had a little bit more life to it, and switching to the darker furniture, I felt looked a lot nicer. So here we are, and we're going to take a tour of what we just built. So these are the three townhouses. At the moment, you can sort of see the gates there, so I do delete those gates and just leave those open. And then we've got our shed areas up the top and our lovely little patio spaces on each of the levels too. So you can sit out there and enjoy the view. I mean, it's a beautiful world. Why would you not want like lots of balcony space so you can sit out there and really enjoy it? Just look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? I love it. And then moving around the back, this is sort of the backyards, and I did decorate all the balconies out the back as well. I didn't do that on camera because I finished the build and then I realised I hadn't done it. I was like, oopsie. So I kept it pretty basic, just some plants and some seating out there and like a little coffee table as well, and kept it pretty similar between each of the different townhouses, just mixed up the colours just as I did around the front. So I think that's us in the outside of the build. You can see like all the houses, and I did like a little bit more of the bushes around each of the fencing as well. So it's all sort of come together with a beautiful view. So then we head to the inside, and I think it's really quite soft and airy and modern, and I think it has like a spacious feel, even though it's not like super big. I think there's certainly a spacious feel to it, and I think it's absolutely lovely. I love the orange and the green and all the woods. I think that's really pretty. I mean, yeah, I'd love wood everywhere in a house if I could get away with it. I do love me a soft wood. Okay, moving on before I get distracted by that statement. So I was really happy with how the layout came together, and we've got some like, little defined areas, and I think it'll be good for socializing as well. And I love that little dining nook, and you've got your TV and your fire, so it's going to be really good for living in. And then heading upstairs, so we've got like our little living area upstairs, so we've got a little bit of seating if you want to have a little bit of a seat upstairs. And then moving into the first bedroom, which is what I call the island living bedroom, because it's got the island living bed and the island living dresser, and I think that's really nice with the orange. And then that's the bathroom ensuite there. So then moving through to the second ensuite, so this had like the curtains and stuff on it, and then moving through to the last bedroom, which had a bit more of the green. So I think it has like a couple of touches, sort of orangey-ish touches to it, but yeah, it's definitely more green than orange. So I am going to now take you through to the other townhouses so that you can take a wee look at what I did there. It's just going to be a few photos, but you can always download it from the gallery as well. I'm VelvettB on the gallery, just the same as I am on the channel, so you should be able to find me there pretty easily. And don't forget to give me a follow on there as well. Although, I do find the gallery a little bit iffy at the moment for following, because I follow people and then I go to check on it again and I'm not following them, so who knows. But I wanted to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and the notification bell so you can get a call back for when my next build is happening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.